Anyway, time to get back to England and take a look upstairs. Ta-da! I'm home! Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan, this is my life in Taiwan, and a big welcome to my old family home here in England for today's video. As you've probably already guessed from the title, what we're going to be doing today is taking a look around the house where I grew up here in England and comparing it to this, my current home here in Taichung, Taiwan, where many of you may already know me and fellow YouTuber Prozzy have recently moved in together. So yes, this is going to be a comparison video between English houses and Taiwanese houses. Of course, it's going to be pretty specific to these two houses, but I'll also try and make some general observations about the similarities and differences between houses in the UK compared to houses here in Taiwan. And yes, before you start, of course, I've never actually lived in a Taiwanese house alongside a Taiwanese family, so a lot of what I'm going to be saying in this video is based upon my opinion, what I've heard from friends, so please bear in mind this is my opinion and anything I do say is open for discussion down in the comments below. And the first major difference is pretty obvious when you just take a look at the street itself. Taiwan obviously has much less space than the UK, which results in much narrower streets, often without sidewalks, as you can see here. Whereas we have much more space here in England, so we have nice wide roads, nice wide sidewalks, and of course, let's not forget, in England, 90% of people living in houses are going to have gardens. In Taiwan, gardens are just not as important. If you do have a garden, then it's likely to be a shared communal garden within the apartment block or complex in which you live, or if you're very lucky like me and Prozzy, you'll get a yard such as this one, which just provides some kind of off-street scooter parking. And if we take a look at the house itself, again, very different style to Taiwan. In England, we tend to build our houses with bricks as opposed to the concrete and rebar structures that they use in Taiwan. So there you can see just a couple of differences between the outside of my house here in England and my house back in Taiwan. But I promise you, there's lots more differences once we get inside. Okay, so here we are in the living room where I spent a lot of my childhood watching children's TV. And for Taiwanese people coming in here, what you're probably going to notice is the most distinctive, most imposing feature, should I say, is this wallpaper. And wallpaper is definitely a feature of most British houses, but Taiwanese homes, similar to mine and Prozzy's, traditionally speaking, will have simple, cream-painted walls with relatively little in the way of soft, warm furnishings. I understand I'm talking about people's homes here. People will probably get upset if what I say doesn't apply to them. So if I'm wrong about your home, then please let me know in the comment section down below. And while I'm sitting here in the window, this is probably another big difference that I've noticed between Taiwanese houses and Western houses. Number one, we have curtains. In Taiwan, curtains are just optional. And as you can see here on my living room window and here in the bedroom, absolutely nothing on the windows in terms of dressing. And I think most houses are like this. Privacy is either maintained through a frosted glass window such as this, or the alternative is just ignoring privacy altogether. And in fact, when you walk down the street in Taiwan, you'll find that most houses have no curtains, no net curtains, just a clear glass window. And as you walk by, you can see absolutely everything that's going on inside that particular living room. Another feature before we move from the living room, you'll probably see behind me is photos, and all around we have hundreds probably of photos of family and grandparents and cousins and nephews and nieces and friends. And many of the Taiwanese houses that I've been to, they either don't have as many or none at all. They don't have photos on the walls of their family. In Taiwan, photos on the wall are just not as important as they are back in England. And again, I'm going to suggest that this is because traditionally, over the past generation, Taiwanese people have just not put as much emphasis on family time together. Work was much more important than recreation. And as such, photos on the wall may seem superfluous, which may make you ask, well, why does every British house have these photos? Do we explain them to every new guest that comes to visit? Nope. Do we stand and admire them every day? No. The honest reason would be that I just don't know. I just know that we love the feeling of having our people nearby. Some houses that I've visited here in Taiwan do have photos on the wall, but again, the majority don't. Maybe you can tell me in the comment section why you do or don't have photos on the wall in your house. Now, back to the living room in England, where there's something I wanted to show you, and that is this bad boy. This is what we call a radiator, and it's part of our central heating system. Now, this is something that is very, very important in a British house, especially on a day like today, the 1st of March, when the weather is absolutely freezing. We can switch on the gas heater upstairs, which will pipe hot water all through the house, feeding hot water into a radiator which is in every single room, so that even in the depths of winter you can be in t-shirts and shorts on the sofa watching TV and you don't have to worry about being cold. Back here in Taiwan, heating solutions generally come from electric heaters such as this one here, or something like this, or if you've got a fancy pants AC, then that can also heat your home in the winter as well as cool it in the summer. But the majority of homes in Taiwan, in my opinion, are just not prepared for the brutal 1 or 2 months where temperatures drop to what feels like freezing. And the attitude amongst most people here is wear more clothes, grin and bear it, and wait for the warm weather to arrive around March. One other thing that I do want to mention is about the floors in Taiwanese homes, to which my bedroom is actually one of the exceptions to the general rule, is that you'll usually find that most floors in Taiwan are either clay tiles or perhaps marble from mountains over on the east coast. So again, a very cold feeling. As you can see from the flooring in my bedroom, there are of course many different options of flooring in Taiwan, but most of the houses that I've been to in the past have this harsh, cold, tiled flooring. Whereas here in England, we have wall-to-wall carpets in almost every house you go to. If we combine the central heating with the carpet and the wallpaper, it just makes the whole house much warmer so that we don't have to worry about those really bitterly cold British winters. But anyway, lots more differences to find around this house. Let's go see what's coming up next. And just like that, we have moved from the living room into the kitchen, right next to the big huge fridge freezer unit, which as you can see is absolutely covered in souvenir fridge magnets and some more family photos. Anybody recognize this little guy? Ta-da! There's our William. But anyway, yes, let's take a look at some of the differences between my kitchen here in England and my kitchen here in Taiwan, where basically the biggest difference you'll find in the kitchen is that there tends to be fewer fitted or designer kitchens. People tend to build their kitchen out of necessity. If you need a new cupboard or a new shelf, well, you just go out and buy one and add it to the kitchen. And because of the Wai Song takeaway culture here in Taiwan, people tend to rely much more on local restaurants than they do on having food at home and cooking for themselves every meal of the day. Therefore, fridges and freezers are much smaller, as are the hobs or the stoves on which people cook. Also along the same lines, many houses here compared to the UK tend to not have washing machines or dryers, and they'll use the local laundromat or laundry service, again, which is much cheaper than it would be in the UK. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that in Taiwan, people tend to rely on local, cost-efficient businesses in order to deliver food and wash laundry, so you'll tend to find that the level of equipment in the kitchen isn't as important. Whereas here in England, houses tend to be much more self-contained. You don't have to worry too much about other people either bringing you food or doing your laundry for you. As you can see, my mom's got a full washing machine, drying machine, and of course one of the biggest differences we notice as foreigners when we go to our new kitchens in Taiwan is that very seldom is there an oven. Again, in Taiwan, some people will have bigger Western style ovens, but the majority of homes you will find something similar to this toaster oven, perhaps a bit bigger than this one. We've got a relatively small one. It's okay for toasting bread or perhaps cooking, warming up some smaller meals, but there's absolutely no way you're gonna roast a full chicken or turkey in this one. Back in England, the oven is the centerpiece of the kitchen and is the all-important part for preparing that very important part of our culture, the Sunday roast dinner. Anyway, time to get back to England and take a look upstairs. And just like that, here we are in my bedroom in England. This is my childhood bedroom. I'm beautifully lit in this window, which again is covered with a net curtain and nice thick light blocking curtains. And one thing I forgot to mention downstairs in the living room is that the windows themselves here in England are very different to the windows of that in Taiwan. We have double glazing, which again is another warm retaining feature which keeps the cold air out, keeps that warm air inside. In Taiwan, double glazing is almost unheard of. Again, it's a little unnecessary most of the year, and single glazing window panes such as the ones here in my bedroom are much more common and much more cost efficient. But other than that, the only other major difference regarding bedrooms between the two countries isn't so much about what you will see in each room, but rather the huge differences in sleeping arrangements. As a teacher, I'm privileged to many family secrets that kids love to share, and they will happily tell me that their bedroom has 3 beds, one for a cousin, another for grandma, and one that they maybe share with their sister. So it seems co-sleeping in the same room or bed within a family is much more prevalent here in Taiwan than it is back in the UK. Again, please let me know if your family is any different. But yeah, there you can see the differences between my bedroom here in England and back home in Taiwan. And I think there's only one big place left to show you, and that's the bathroom. Okay, and here we are in the room where all of the magic happens. This is the bathroom. But the reason that I really wanted to show you something very important, a big difference between bathrooms in Taiwan and bathrooms in England, is in fact that word itself, bath. 99% of houses you're gonna find there is a bathtub in the house built into the wall, and of course there is a shower with a separate shower curtain keeping the water separate from the rest of the bathroom. In Taiwan, you're much more likely to find a bathroom similar to this. Probably cleaner and less sparse than mine, but my point is that bathrooms here tend to be one open space, what we would call a wet room, where everything gets wet when you take a shower. And actually, if you want to know some more details about some of the differences or surprising things about bathrooms in Taiwan, then go check out Prozy's recent video on the exact same topic, where he covers everything in much more detail. So yes, here we are in the back garden. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna say thanks so much to you for watching this somewhat different video. I hope you've got a good idea of the differences of living styles between British homes and Taiwanese homes. If you've enjoyed this video, then by all means subscribe to the channel and follow my life in Taiwan. I'm going to be getting back soon, so lots more videos coming in future, but I'm going to say goodbye as for now, and as always, I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye bye.